What is NFL Redzone? What isn't NFL Redzone? Hi, everyone. It's that time of week. Scott Hansen here, fired up as ever to be your touchdown tour guide, wondering what will happen next. And that's the way you start an NFL Sunday. Football fans are used to watching one game at a time. NFL Redzone not only shows you that game, it shows you the best parts of every game. Every touchdown, every big turnover, every game-changing moment, every jaw-dropping play that there is, you see live on NFL Redzone. For 2 seasons before NFL Redzone began, I was a roving reporter for NFL media. They would send me to practices, to games, to news conferences to cover it. When they sent me to a game, I would be going to different websites to find out the score in Minnesota, the score in Dallas, the score in Miami. Tom Brady would be playing right in front of us on the field, and I'd jab some of my fellow reporters next to me and say, yeah, but Adrian Peterson has 100 yards in the first half in Minnesota. I was always interested in the 1,000-foot view of the NFL. So I'd like to think that even in my reporting days, I was kind of built to be someone who could watch multiple games at one time and would want to tell everybody what else was going on in the NFL besides the thing that was immediately in front of us. The summer of 2009, I hear a rumor that the NFL is going to start this new channel. They're going to call it NFL Redzone. The NFL Redzone audition was 5 hours long. So what they did was queued up 8 videotapes, pressed play on 8 different machines at the same time, and said, talk. I'm your host, Scott Hansen. You're watching the first moments of the channel that we hope will change the way you watch football forever. At the end of the 5 hours, I'm drenched in sweat. I get a phone call. It was the executive producer from NFL Network, and he said, Scott, I just want you to know we want you to be the host of NFL Redzone. I'm thrilled about that. Thank you so much. So you watched the 5-hour audition. He said, Scott, I watched the first 10 minutes of it, and I knew you were my guy. But I remember thinking, if you watched 10 minutes of it, why the did you have me do 5 hours and ruin a perfectly good suit? The rest, as they say, I guess, is history. On episode 1, we hit the jackpot. It's the Denver Broncos and the Cincinnati Bengals. We randomly pick out that game because the score was close, even if it was low scoring. And we said, let's watch. And then, bang.
Bat it off. Oh, God! Stokely down the sideline. Can they catch him? Stokely! Wow! Touchdown!
We just happened to select as the game to go to at that moment. Our eyes went like this because we said, this could happen every single week. Anyone who ever gets a look behind the scenes at NFL Redzone will notice a couple of things. The touchdowns are very real, but the background's fake. Spoiler, I have 2 right-hand men in the studio with me, Tim Galanians and Brian Larrivee. And anytime I have a gap in my football knowledge, they fill it immediately. And I saturate my mind with every player, stat, fact, storyline that I can think of. But my hard drive's limited. Their computers aren't. At the very beginning of the show, there were a couple things that I suggested to the producers. I said, I know we're going to bounce around from game to game to game, but why don't we, at the beginning of the game, show a big picture? Let's call it the Octobox. Let's go to the Octobox as we catch our breath in the first few moments. The witching hour was something that evolved over the first handful of years. People would hit me up on social media, and I kept saying, you should call it the witching hour. You know, the weird stuff happens.
We got pressing issues here. Lions, 2-point conversion live.
When the unpredictable will happen.
8 games, many of them getting to or in the fourth quarter. It's the witching hour, when wins become losses.
And losses become wins, or some variation thereof. And it was basically a 60-minute segment where you couldn't take your eyes off of it. It's absolutely phenomenal, the popularity of NFL Redzone. I've been told we've been on in the White House. We've been parodied by Saturday Night Live. We've been on Family Guy. People dress up as me for Halloween. The little guy. Look at the detail. One of the other amazing moments that I found out that NFL Redzone is everywhere was at one of the New England Patriots Super Bowls. All of a sudden, I get a tap on my shoulder, And I turn around, and it's Tom Brady. And I go, Tom. And he goes, Scott, I just want to say you do an amazing job on Red Zone. I don't get starstruck, but when the GOAT tells you he's watching your show, that's a big deal.
My game goes to Scott Hansen.
Let's go!
What
Let's go, Scotty!
This guy's great. This guy Hansen is special.
Do you sit around and watch NFL games?
I watch them all. Red Zone, Scott. Like, he's the best in the game.
I was born and raised a football fan. Played flag football when I was a little kid. Went and started playing tackle football. Got into high school, was captain of the team. Syracuse has a big-time Division I football team, so I made the team and stayed there for 4 years. I love the game so much that I knew if I wasn't going to play it, I would want to talk about it. Scott Hansen, NFL Network.
Tell me about the winning touchdown. Describe the emotion right now.
Hey everyone, Scott Hansen here, host of the new channel that everyone is buzzing about, NFL Redzone. I'm sitting in the studio right now, and it's pretty quiet, and it's empty, and we're waiting for the season to start. And when we get on Redzone Eve, I will be fired up at 1 o'clock Eastern, week 1, to hit that Octobox and do the witching hour, all wrapped up in 7 hours of commercial-free football. I can't wait to say that for real. I love it that you guys love it as much as we love it. Let's do this forever.
instantly? DraftKings, you spoiling me now with these big payouts. Retired NFL smart guy Ryan Fitzpatrick. Break it down for us.
Just place your bet, and the bonus bets instantly appear in your account. Like magic. Like Fitz magic.
That's too much magic. It's too much magic.
Want to turn $5 into $200 instantly in bonus bets? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, because life's more fun when you're in on the action. The crown is yours.
Days. It's been 245 days since the last full NFL Sunday, but the wait is over. In a matter of moments, the next generation takes center stage. C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson all take their first NFL snaps. Joe Burrow just got a $270 million bag, and now he'd love a division win in Ohio. Purdy versus Pickett in Pittsburgh? Perfect. And we ain't pulling this car over for 7 hours, but can Tennessee pull the car over in New Orleans? Some answers we get in just a matter of moments as who's ready for the first Sunday of the NFL's 104th season. That'd be us. Hi, everyone, and welcome to NFL Red Zone, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Great to have DraftKings back as our title sponsor. I'm Scott Hansen. This is season 15 for us at NFL Red Zone, but we know some of you might be watching for the very first time. If that's you, let me make you a promise. We're going to love watching football together. Today on the show, 5 teams have new head coaches. All of them will debut on NFL Red Zone. 8 teams have a new starting quarterback from what they expected at this point last year. All of those teams are on Red Zone. The menu of games kicking off in a matter of moments looks like this. 8 games in the early window. Carolina's in Atlanta, division matchup in the NFC South. Mark Andrews is out for the Baltimore Ravens. He has a quad injury. The Ravens host the Houston Texans. Cincinnati at Cleveland, the 100th Battle of Ohio in NFL history. Jacksonville, the reigning AFC South champions, start off with a division battle in Indianapolis, taking on the Colts. Minnesota hosts Tampa Bay. Both those teams won their division last year. Tennessee goes to New Orleans to take on the Saints. San Francisco goes to Pittsburgh. Purdy versus Pickett. And we have Arizona starting Josh Dobbs at quarterback at Washington. And you know it's a new day for the Commanders franchise. Those are the early window games. The late window is robust. 5 games in the late window. Chicago, Denver, the Los Angeles Chargers, New England, and Seattle all have home games. There are early games with what you can see down the road 18 weeks from now would be playoff implications, including this one right here. The Baltimore Ravens, M&T Bank Stadium, chocked to the roof with fans, and Houston boots it away to Baltimore, and they'll bring it out from the goal line here, over the 15-yard line, over the 20, over the 25, let's call it the 26 or 27-yard line. Lamar Jackson, who got paid in the offseason, will get the football first there in Baltimore. Second-year quarterbacks. Kenny Pickett was expected to be the Steelers franchise quarterback against Brock Purdy, who obviously came out of nowhere last year there in that game. It's a new day at the quarterback position in New Orleans. Derek Carr will get the football first down in the Superdome. The Tennessee Titans trying to reassert themselves as playoff contenders here in 2023. We'll kick it away in a matter of moments. While we wait for the kick to go to the sky here, want to let you know one of the material rule changes in the NFL this year is you can fair catch a kickoff, and no matter where you do, the ball goes to the 25-yard line. You catch it, fair catch it at the 5, which they won't do right here. You could get it at the 25. So when you bring it, you got to get it over that 25-yard line. They don't quite get there, but Derek Carr and company stepping on the field first. Let's go to the Octobox, ladies and gentlemen. There it is, 8 games kicking off the 2023 first full Sunday, 245 days since we've been able to say 7 hours of commercial-free football start now. Oh, we get to say that for the next 18 weeks. Enjoy it, ladies and gentlemen, as Pittsburgh will pick it up close to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be 3rd and medium for Kenny Pickett and this Pittsburgh offense. Let's listen in.
You've got some intriguing players around him, too.
You really do. I really like what they did up front. Isaac Seumalo, they bring him in. That's the only change from last year, but it strengthens that offensive line. And here we go, playing with tempo.
On 3rd down, Pickett evades 1. Can evade 2 as Drake Jackson slams him down. It's a sack back to the 20 for the second-year man.
Well, Desmond Ridder, the show is yours at the quarterback position for Atlanta. Check this out. He tries to throw his first pass of the season. Ball pops in the air. He catches it and then just goes down. Probably would have been well-suited just to bat that ball back down to the ground for an incompletion. As it is, he avoids what would have been a disastrous turnover, and it's a loss of a couple, but there'll be better forward passes for Desmond Ridder in future snaps. Well, you're looking at a guy who probably went top 3 in your fantasy football draft. Jamar Chase just caught a pass and got outside and got a first down for Cincinnati, who approaches midfield. Let's listen in.
At tailback, after the 12-yard gain out near midfield. Burrow, plenty of time. And that was picked off along the sideline. Emerson was out of bounds. Jamar Chase, the intended receiver.
And that's one of the few times you're going to see a defensive back be in such good position that he could defend a back shoulder fade. MJ Emerson was right there in his hip pocket.
It was 3rd down and 7 for Kirk Cousins. They go empty backfield. No Dalvin Cook anymore in Minnesota. Cousins over the middle. Dangerous throw. Looking for his main target, Justin Jefferson. And it goes incomplete as a couple of players, including Yancey, the first-round rookie for the Kalijah Cansey, was in there for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on that play. We've got a run here. Chris Evans not going to get the first down for Cincinnati. We cut back to another AFC South or AFC North offense. Lamar Jackson, 3rd and 2, tries to escape the pocket, and he cannot. Houston Texans forcing a 3 and out for the Baltimore offense. It'll be a punt back to the Texans in just a moment. 3rd and 5 live in Ohio.
Was dealing with a concussion cleared protocol and is in there, the 2-time Pro Bowl. They called it 5 yards, so we'll call it 3rd and 5. Burrow in trouble. Burrow is dumped at the 49-yard line. He couldn't break away. Pressure came from all angles for the Browns. Okoronkwo, another one of the new faces.
The defenses have come to play here. We've seen 3rd down sacks, 3rd down stops. Here's a 3rd down for the 4th overall pick, Anthony Richardson. He was going to try and run for it after a design pass play broke down, but he gets tackled from behind. It was Josh Allen, the outside linebacker for the Jags. Josh Allen with the sack on Anthony Richardson. And here's Bryce Young with his first pass in the NFL. And Young looks to the sideline with a little thumbs up, probably to his new head coach, Frank Reich. Everything seems brand new for the Carolina Panthers. The former Heisman Trophy winner, the former national champion, the #1 overall draft pick, Bryce Young, zinging one in, and that's a first down for Carolina into Atlanta territory.
Bryce told us about Terrace Marshall, said he just has the most natural hands, loves getting the ball to him.
Pickup of a dozen, listed at 5'10", and he told us he's 204. See the late kick for the snap count. Miles Sanders works his way through the Atlanta defense down to the 35-yard line.
telling you, the defense is getting pressure on quarterbacks here in the first quarter of these games. C.J. Stroud, pass up in the air. Did you see this with Desmond Ridder in Atlanta? You just saw this with C.J. Stroud. In fact, that was his first ever career pass, I believe. Let's double-check the box score. That was his first NFL pass, and it goes for a -1 yard gain. C.J. Stroud with a catch to himself. That'll be a barroom trivia question 20 years from now.
Safety spot, great communicator, better player.
Chuba Hubbard checks in at running back after Sanders picked up 9. Hesitation on the handoff, and Hubbard will get enough to get the first down. A.J. Terrell coming from...
49ers had a 4th and 1 just over midfield. They decide to go for it. Brock Purdy fakes the inside handoff, swings it out to George Kittle, who was questionable with an injury coming into today, but he catches it, and they convert the 4th down. And now here comes CMC, Christian McCaffrey. He gets a full season behind this offensive line in what is expected to be one of the most explosive offenses in football. So we've got Bryce Young in field goal range, unless he turns it over, which he gathers his own fumble there on the mesh point. We've got Carolina in scoring position. We've got the Niners in the red zone. We'll go Niners and Panthers back and forth.
To win 12 in a row from there. What changed as the year went on? Pretty easy to draw a line with when they acquired that guy. First down and goal. Play action. Purdy looking end zone. Lets it rip, and he's got a touchdown to Brandon Ayuk. Perfect start for the 49ers. Ayuk breaks free.
What a great drive. They make it look easy. There's so many weapons. We talked about them. Deebo Samuel came into camp in great shape. Brandon Ayuk looking to build off of his career year last year. Look at how open he is. Look at the route run right there. We just talked about Christian McCaffrey as the running back came in, win 12 straight. What a great...
We're going to double box in Tennessee. There was a wild sequence on the opening kickoff between the Titans and the Saints. It was a turnover to Tennessee. I'll explain that in a minute.
For Ryan Tannehill, his 5th year with the Titans, it's knocked away from the tight end, Zigo Konkwo.
All right, here we go. First game rewind of the year presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Opening kickoff. We showed you this live. What we didn't necessarily notice, see the celebration for the Tennessee sideline? They stripped the return man of the Saints. Amani Hooker stripped him and recovered the fumble as he was going out of bounds. Mike Vrabel threw the red coach's challenge flag. They looked at it and overturned it, and on the first play of the game, Tennessee gets a field position to be able to score here early.
On second down, Tannehill pivots back inside, maneuvers forward, and is tackled inside the 25-yard line.
And we're going to double box in a couple of other NFC South teams. Carolina still working with it. It's now 1st and 10 at the red zone for Bryce Young in his first NFL drive.
Chuba Hubbard pounds forward inside the 15, so you're going to see a lot of receiver jet sweeps in motion.
Situation, so not really able to utilize Henry on the first drive. And 3rd and 13, Jay, you know, this is when we find out what the Saints' plan is.
Movement on each side of the line. Play clock winding down as well.
Sanders back in. They want him to touch it 15 to 20 times a game. He's already been impressive when he's run for the Panthers, and he carries again, getting close inside maybe the 12-yard line.
Those guys down on the field going through the same thing week 1 of the NFL season. Pre-snap penalties drive head coaches absolutely insane.
Jason's son had his first 7-year-old game yesterday. That's about what their play looked like.
Well, start. Offense number 10. Penalty. 3rd down.
They get DeAndre Hopkins.
Young is 3 out of 3 so far. Chenault again in the backfield. He runs, he catches, he does whatever they need. And he gets the handoff, squirms. Did not look like he made it. Richie Gordon.
Something safe to try to make it an easier field goal attempt.
3rd and 18 on the border of field goal range. With Spears, the running back, Tannehill pressured. Unleashes to Spears, incomplete. That pressure from the Saints.
If I have to gamble early, I will. And it's all about possessions in the NFL.
Yeah, it certainly is all about those possessions, and that's why you go with a run in a situation like that. Say, hey, we're going to have 2 shots at it. We'll see Terrace Marshall lined up, manned up on the bottom of the screen.
Chuba Hubbard, can he find room? No! The Falcons will take over on down.
I love the intensity right there.
So the first drive for the first pick in the draft ends with a turnover on downs in the red zone. But still impressive that Carolina was able to move the football down the field.
Each side of the line, play clock winding down as well.
Sanders back in. They want him to touch it 15 to 20 times a game. He's already been impressive when he's run for the Panthers, and he carries again, getting close inside maybe the 12-yard line.
Those guys down on the field going through the same thing week 1 of the NFL season. Pre-snap penalties drive head coaches absolutely insane.
Jason's son had his first 7-year-old game yesterday. That's about what their play looked like.
Well, start. Offense number 10. Have penalty. 3rd down.
They get DeAndre Hopkins.
Young is 3 out of 3 so far. Chenault again in the backfield. He runs, he catches, he does whatever they need. And he gets the handoff, squirms. Did not look like he made it. Richie
something safe to try to make it an easier field goal attempt.
3rd and 18 on the border of field goal range. With Spears, the running back, Tannehill pressured. Unleashes to Spears, incomplete. That pressure from the Saints.
If I have to gamble early, I will. And it's all about possessions in the NFL.
Yeah, it certainly is all about those possessions, and that's why you go with a run in a situation like that. Say, hey, we're going to have 2 shots at it. We'll see Terrace Marshall lined up, manned up on the bottom of the screen.
Chuba Hubbard, can he find room? No! The Falcons will take over on down.
I love the intensity right there.
So the first drive for the first pick in the draft ends with a turnover on downs in the red zone. But still impressive that Carolina was able to move the football down the field.
He is the ultimate freestyle player, and you've got to get him with the ability that he has, the chance to be creative and go out there and just play football.
False start, offense, number 78, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
It's Morgan Moses over at that right tackle position. And a rare early mistake here.
We'll check the penalty flag there in the Baltimore game, but we got to show you this. Just happened seconds ago. Kenny Pickett, 3rd and 5. Has time, looks deep, picked off. Receiver fell down, and Mooney Ward was there for the easy 2-handed interception. Pickett trying to go to, it looks like, was it Deontay Johnson he was trying to go for there, slipped on that natural grass at Acrisure Stadium, and the penalty was a false start against the Ravens. So Baltimore comes back, and then Lamar goes, okay, I'll throw all the way back across my body. Rashad Bateman, looks like he scooped it up off the ground, but it wasn't enough for a first down. 3rd down upcoming. All right, before 3rd down for Baltimore, let's show you a 3rd down for Minnesota, just outside the red zone. 3rd and 2 from the 26-yard line, and we'll get you back to Baltimore in about 20 seconds.
3rd down and 2.
Play clock at 2.
And there's the center exchange. Ball is loose, and the Bucs have it. Just like Matt mentioned.
Including the wild card with that Liz Frank foot injury. He's back healthy. Jackson again under pressure. Was it picked? Yes, it was. Steven Nelson.
Well, we had dueling 3rd downs in scoring range. The Minnesota Vikings, veteran quarterback Kirk Cousins couldn't get the snap. They turn it over. The veteran quarterback Lamar Jackson looked like he threw a soft pass kind of off his back foot with the rush.